All right, so everyone, this is Kevin here, Kevin O'Shea, aka Busan Kevin, in Kobe, Japan, a runner in Japan, and I would like to welcome you all to episode number 5 of Running in Japan with my co-host, Mr. Scott Brown. So how you doing tonight, Scott?
Very good, very good. On the mend after a bit of sickness, but feeling fine.
Cool. And tonight we have a special guest in Kyoto, Japan. And who do we have in Kyoto, Japan?
My name is Jonathan Reynolds, and I am a fairly recent runner.
And you are a runner indeed, sir. You're a recent runner, but a runner who in recent times has been making some very impressive gains.
Thank
so
you.
We're very happy to have you here tonight on the Running in Japan show. It is, we've got 3 runners in Japan, different parts of Japan. I am in Kobe, Japan. Scott, where are you tonight?
Osaka, beautiful southern suburbs, Sakai City.
Nice. And where are you, Mr. Reynolds? Jonathan?
I'm coming to you from the center of Kyoto.
Oh, the center, yes. Awesome. And the reason why I'm just doing kind of this intro, this kind of, I'm going to turn this off to see the comments here. The reason why I'm kind of, so I see, by the way, we have 0 viewers right now. So I'm assuming possibly this means that we have this YouTube glitch continuing. But, oh well, there we go. They will join in soon. Again, this is recorded. This show is recorded and will be uploaded within the day or two. So briefly, just for people, maybe people have not seen the past few little episodes of our Google Hangout show here. But I myself have been running since really 2008. Not always super consistently. I have been known to run a full marathon and then take a few months off. Train for a marathon, take a few months off. And this, so I started running in 2008, and I have run, coming up, Osaka Marathon 2012. Next month will be my 7th full marathon. This year has been, unfortunately, kind of an injury-plagued year for me. Lots of issues with my Achilles and soft tendon issues on my right foot. Yes, so there we go. Scott, can you tell us a little bit about your running background?
Okay, started about, I think it was about 2 or 3. So that's about 8 or 9 years I've been running. I've had 17 to 19 marathons. I have to count again. A lot of half marathons, and yeah, so at the moment I'm still I started in my early 40s. So I'm heading towards 50, pretty close, 48 now, and still getting faster, so I'm enjoying it more and more each year. I'm getting better at it, but like Kevin, I had a bad year or so recently with injuries, but slowly coming back to the best, which is good.
Well, and that's one of the things that's very interesting about what I love about the kind of the juxtaposition here with running in Japan. You've got myself and Scott. I have been running for a few years. I am a mid-pack runner, to describe myself. My personal best in a full marathon is 3 hours and 59 minutes. Whereas on the other hand, so we've got kind of the mid-packer perspective. We got Scott over here, and Scott's personal best is somewhat faster than mine.
Yeah,
Would that be true?
for marathon, yeah,
For a full marathon.
2:45.
Okay, so
Yeah.
obviously we've got a sub 3 hour marathoner. Not a lot of people can do that. So that's what I really think is great here. We've got a very varied perspective. Let's just say that on the running world. And now we've got ourselves a guest tonight. Jonathan, can you tell us a little bit about your running background?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I had done absolutely 0 running up until last July of last year, at which point I just started by walking every day, and then from then I started running maybe 20 to 30 minutes 4 or 5 days a week. I've run 2 races so far. My first was a 10K back in June, which I finished in about 51 minutes. Nothing spectacular. And then my second race was last Sunday, which was my 35 kilometers on flat, but counting the mountains, it was actually 45. And I did that in about 5 hours and 12 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So so you basically ran a trail race. So you said including the mountains and stuff, about 45 kilometers?
Yeah, well, if you look at the sign at the end, it actually says 45 kilometers, or it says about 45 kilometers. But people's GPS marks it as 35. So I figured that the disparity was counting the elevation running up
Okay,
and
so with
down.
the incline and decline and ups and downs, you're actually so you ran yourself an ultra marathon, sir.
Yeah. I went from 10K to
distance above
45.
and beyond, any distance above and beyond a marathon is an ultra marathon. I think that's basically how that works. There are many different distances, but your typical distances for an ultra would be kind of your standard are 50K. Then you've got your 50 miler, 100 miler, this and that, and 100K in there. There's a big 100K ultra up in Hokkaido every year. The Lake Saroma, 100K I think it's called, which I would like to run. That's more like a road. That's a road 100 miler, 100K marathon. But nonetheless, digress. So here we are, and it's been another week on the road for us. So maybe we can talk a little bit about our past week of training, Scott. So how'd it go for you, Scott?
Through that, short and sweet. I'll make this. So on last Monday, I told you I did 2 races. One on the Saturday and one on the half marathon on Saturday, and 3,000 meter on Monday. And we did our hangout here, and I was feeling all right. And Tuesday morning, I had a run of about 10K before work. And Tuesday night, I felt like shit, and I was blocked up. By Wednesday, I don't know if anyone's ever had a sinus infection, but they get worse every year. But you get the blockage here, and it goes right down. It sort of swells up your glands all around the neck. You feel really, I don't know, dizzy. But I had this, it's a bit gross. I hope everyone's finished eating, but it was like, have you ever seen the movie Total Recall?
Yeah.
You know when he's pulling that like transmitter thing out of his nose?
Yeah.
My nose was like, it was puffed up. It was really, and hard, compacted with like hard phlegm. And it was pushing in the back of my eyes, and it was horrible. It was horrible. So I couldn't even face working. I had to go to work, but it was horrible for 2 or 3 days. But, so I didn't run. I felt terrible, so.
So hey, Scott. Hey, Jonathan. Welcome back. I have no idea what just happened there, but for whatever reason, everything just shut down on my end.
Yeah,
And,
so you just froze for a while, then disappeared.
yeah, just everything just shut off, like literally, yeah, just whoosh, gone. Actually, my computer froze for a few moments, and then it shut off. Not the computer, but the Google Hangout. So here we go. I think that got captured and recorded. So.
Even the part Jonathan said, if you're doing it, right, and we lost you, that means you're not recording.
Possibly, yeah. So I think it possibly may have just where it stopped on my end, where I froze, it may have just finished.
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah. But
I feel that you're not live right now, though.
Pardon?
You're not live right now, yeah?
No, we are live right now.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, because I got nothing in my news feed.
This is a glitch again, I think. Yeah. This is that glitch.
Molly was right, I'm telling you.
No, this has been so glitchy recently. Let's see if I look at my own news feed. No, not in there. Huh.
Nice.
But the last one was, right?
Yeah, the last one was in the news feed.
And could you watch it? Or did you try? No, maybe not.
No, but I did go to the comments, and Nick Ramsey was watching.
Ah.
Let's see. I'll go social boost on Kevin.
I'm just gonna I have a direct embed link. I can send it over Twitter. If you if you see that, you can retweet it, and that direct embed link will hopefully share it with a few people.
Man films up JAL flight attendant skirt. What?
That's my last video.
Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't me. I've been on an airplane in a long time. I've been on an airplane since Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing in your feed too, for that matter.
Yeah, trying to send it out here. So, uh,
there we go. Okay, cool. We are online after all.
we are?
Yeah.
What are you drinking, Jonathan?
You know, I actually have better stuff
No.
in the refrigerator, but this is just a half poached shoe. It's cheap that I picked up yesterday. Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel like saving the good stuff tonight.
Yeah, we're not worth it.
Yeah, we're not worth it. Yeah.
That's not what I meant at all.
Aw, Jonathan. Okay, apparently we have one viewer out there.
Probably me, actually.
So there we go. I've just tweeted out and put on Facebook, and maybe some people will come and this and that. But yeah. So okay, back to before we got sidetracked by technology that's very unstable. Let's see.
I think I was done. Maybe let's go to Jonathan's week.
Jonathan, tell us about your running. What did you do this week for training? Now this is kind of a recovery week for you, I suppose.
Yes, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. My legs were just shot.
When
After
did
that,
you finish, Jonathan? When did you do the race? Actual race? 30.
the race was on Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday morning. Sunday morning we started about 9 o'clock, and then we had lunch about 11:30. How many races do you get a free lunch in? That was cool. Should I talk about the race now, or just what I ran last week?
Maybe race. Go for it.
Yeah, tell us about the race.
Okay, cool. So there was about 200 people, 215 people or so. 1/4 of those were women, and the vast majority of people out there were all middle-aged and up. I was one of the very few young people out there. If I'm considered young, then I was one of the very few.
You know, that kind of sounds like you'd entered the world of ultra running, and I think the world of ultra running, if you read about it, listen to podcasts, it is a sport that tends to be more popular with older runners. My age, like late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially who was out there with me that day. And on the train on the way home, I was talking to one guy who had run a 100K ultra, and he was saying that many of the people out there were ultra runners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which he was kind of surprised when he realized that before that I'd only run a 10K.
Yeah, that's kind of like jumping off the deep end.
Well, I didn't realize it was going to be as hard as it was when I signed up for it. I knew it was 35K, and the week before, previous Sunday, I ran 33K, just around Kyoto.
On a road, though, right?
Of course. Yeah, tall, flat roads, just down south through Kyoto and back up. And I was thinking this 35K was going to be up through mountain roads. Nah. No, we go off the roads. We go over the mountains, literally. I couldn't film it. I had my camera, and I carried my camera the entire way for the whole 5 hours through it. But I had to keep putting my camera away because I needed my hands to grab onto trees because I was sliding down mountains, or I was trying to pull myself up a mountain.
It sounds like a good it sounds like a good ultra marathon, a good trail race.
It was crazy. It was way harder than I thought it would be. But yeah, so we started off at 9 o'clock, and just immediately we started running uphill. And the vast majority of the race was uphill. It liked to kill me. We had lunch around 11:30 up on top of some mountain somewhere at a shrine, I believe. Had lunch, had some somen noodles, some rice. After that, took off back down another mountain. Finally, when we got to the goal, they gave us a little kusamochi. It's like a green manju with anko inside, azuki bean paste inside.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was great. Then we had to work our way back down that last mountain to go to the onsen, which was included in it. This is part of the best thing about the race, is not only do you have this incredible sense of achievement, after finishing it, after reaching the goal. But you also got lunch. There were 4 aid stations where they gave you like oranges and sports drinks and whatnot. And then the onsen was included after that. Yeah, it was an incredible day.
Nice. And how was the weather for the race?
The weather was beautiful. That Saturday night it rained quite a bit, and that's what made the mountain so difficult. Because I'm out there in my road shoes trying to run over this mountain in mud.
No trail shoes. Yeah, world of difference, I assume.
Yeah, that was nice.
No trail.
As far as that day, it was just gorgeous. Beautiful weather last Sunday.
Nice. What did you do for hydration? Like did you have a bottle with you or anything like that of water?
Well, I knew there were going to be 4 aid stations because I went to the night before Saturday. I found some blogs from people
Okay.
that had run the race previously, and they said that there were 4 unmanned aid stations. So I was thinking, well, I don't really need that much, but just in case I do need something in between there, I picked up a couple bottles of I don't remember what it was. Some maybe like a lemon water or something like that.
Okay. Cool.
And I just carried with me in my pack on the way.
So that was last Sunday.
Yes, it was.
And how did you feel on Monday morning, sir?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't walk. I could not walk on Monday morning. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was out. Like every single muscle in my body, my abs hurt. Everything hurt. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Finally on Thursday, I went out and ran a 9K again. Friday, I did a little 6K. Saturday, I think maybe Saturday I took the day off or something. And then yesterday morning, I ran a 12K.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that was my week in review.
Are you fully recovered now, Jonathan? You feel?
Oh, yeah.
So it was like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it took me, by Thursday, I was good to go again.
Can I ask you
By
a question?
Thursday.
You said we had lunch, right?
Yes, that's true.
How does it work? I mean, the runners, when they come to the lunch place, they just stop and have lunch. Like if you're first through or the...
Yeah, right. Well, like we got up there and I wasn't sure what was going to be there, so I was just following everybody else. We all went in. There was food at the tables. Just sit down, eat, and as soon as you've had as much as you want, you take off again.
All right.
And keep on running.
You say you're always running with someone near you.
I was running with someone near me for most of the way.
You ever by yourself for a while?
There were a couple times, but I was never more than half a kilometer away from anybody. Yeah.
Half a kilometer is far.
Well, granted, but even at one point I got lost. Well, the first time I got lost, I was with somebody, and actually, if he had just followed me, then we'd have been all right. But I turned around and followed him instead. But the second time, I waited. I was actually filming at that point, and I couldn't decide which way to go because I was following a guy, but we were going up such a steep incline, and there were those. It was a chabatake where they grow tea.
Yeah.
And so it's all bushes going up a hillside, so I couldn't see farther up the hill, and I didn't know which way he went. So I just stood there holding my camera, asking you all what I should do for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
and then as soon as I did that, somebody else came along, and he said, it's probably this way. Yeah. But most of the time, I followed other people.
You the only foreigner, Jonathan?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would assume you would be definitely in a race like that. I mean, to be honest, even in, I find the smaller marathons around here, that just reminds me of like when you were talking about the way you felt after Monday. My first marathon back in 2008, I ran a small one called the Osaka Yotagawa Marathon. When I say small, I mean about maybe 3,000 runners in the full marathon. And maybe I think I saw one other foreigner. Actually, no, I looked afterwards. I got the book where I looked through all the names, and there was one other foreign name.
That's normal, right? One, if at all, there's 1 or 2 at the most. So.
Yeah, and I remember that race. I remember my first full marathon. I remember that it was maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to the bathroom. I remember trying to get out of bed. That was when I realized what I had done to my body. Trying to swing my legs out of the bed. It was just like, oh God.
Yeah,
but,
I can understand that. But this one in particular was very non-foreigner friendly in that everything to sign up with it was all Japanese. The only mentions of it on the internet were all in Japanese.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
how you found it? How did you find it?
Well, Jonathan, you speak Japanese fairly well, I think, right? So,
yeah.
Did your wife find this one for you though?
No, huh? No, I was just looking for races that were close to Kyoto.
This one was on RunNet too, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Because I can remember my wife. I had my wife because my Japanese is shit and a half, and I mean I don't read any kanji. I can read hiragana, katakana, but I can't read any kanji. So normally, I've had my wife get on RunNet with me, and she searches it out.
Kuchi. Yeah, you can do that one. Looks like a mouth.
Yeah. Quickly, I'll just very quickly spit out my. Oh, cool.
Ooh. No.
That is a kanji kenkei gokaku. That is saying that my Japanese is as good as a 5th grader.
Mine is as good as a 3-year-old's, possibly. Who's had too much to drink. Let's see, my week. Actually, I'll tell you what. Like, I kind of tally up. I tend to tally up a lot of my walking as well when I do my running mileage training, because I honestly, I am a firm believer, and I've heard this before, especially when I've listened to ultra marathoners talk. I'm not an ultra marathoner. I've done a 60K self-made, homemade race in insane heat once, but I can remember hearing ultra marathoners talk about, for example, if you are doing ultra marathoning, which is something I'd eventually like to get into, it's all about time on your feet, spending insane amounts of time on your feet. And walking, standing helps you with that. I mean, because I tend to find, honestly, if I walk 6K, that's harder on my body than running 6K.
I know what you mean. I think
it's harder on my feet.
Fair comment. It's a fair comment. Time on
yeah. I'm much more tired. If I run a 6K, that's nothing. But if I walk 6K, and if I have to stand a lot in the middle of it, to be honest, someone who I love dearly shopping.
Kevin, you remember last week I told you I told you about Dean Carnesis or whatever?
Yeah.
And someone sent me a link about his hints for not getting injured, and I just remembered one of them when you said that. One of them was to stand everywhere, don't sit, even at work, even when you eat. He has a desk where he stands at his desk. He doesn't sit. He reckons don't sit down. He said that'll help you.
That's and I tend to actually.
You're probably standing most of the time anyway.
I'm standing pretty much all day. I actually have a standing desk at work too. So, Dean. By the way, have you heard of Dean Karnazes, Jonathan?
No, huh?
He's known as his nickname is the Ultra Marathon Man. He's a guy who had won the Badwater Ultra Marathon many times. That's a 135-mile race across Death Valley in July. Nice. He did something where he ran 400 kilometers straight without stopping. Does really
guy's never been injured, Jonathan. Never.
Yeah, he's kind of a gimmick stunt guy, but he's damn impressive. So let's see what I did here. I'm just looking. I got my week up here on dailymile.com, so that's where I log all my stuff on Daily Mile. I walked 9 kilometers on Monday. I ran 5 and walked 4 on Tuesday. I ran 9 and walked 3 on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, I walked 3 and 3. And then I ran on Saturday. I did a double day, so I ran 8 in the morning. I walked 6.5 in the kind of mid-morning afternoon, and then I went out late afternoon and ran 8 more. And then yesterday I ran 24.5, and I walked 5.
Cool.
So I had a busy week.
More than my week this week. Yeah.
So I was up pretty much almost 90 kilometers, which for me is pretty impressive for that kind of thing. I was supposed to run today. I brought all my running gear to work during my break, but I ended up having to work through my break. So, So when I finished actually doing the work, there was about 12 minutes left in my break. So I figured, well, I'll just leave all my running clothes here at work, and tomorrow afternoon I'll put them on and go.
How long do you get for lunch, Kevin?
Pardon?
How long do you get for lunch?
I don't. Well, I actually have lunch. My lunch is not a break. I actually eat lunch with my class from 12 till 1, and my break is normally from 2:30 to 3:30.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get a break at that point. And then after that, I have kind of preparation work and stuff. So it's fine. I literally throw my running gear. I go out for a run. I come back, and then I just the Gatsby body sheets and stuff, kind of wipe off those. And I have a uniform I have to wear. Well, my uniform is like a golf shirt with like the school logo and stuff on it. So I just change back into that and kind of, do some work for an hour and a half or so, and then I head home.
Do you have tartan pants with that golf shirt?
Pardon?
Tartan pants?
I do. I have a tartan skirt, sir.
Imagine.
And it is short, I'll tell you. And they were telling me, don't do that, Mr. O'Shea. Could you please lower it? And I say, no, I'm expressing myself, my independence. So Scott, we started something last week where we were going to have Scott, who is someone who's very knowledgeable, especially with his website, samurairunning.com, a website where for all of you outside of Japan, if you're interested in coming to Japan, if you go to samurairunning.com, you can, if you want to come to Japan and run a race, Scott's your guy. He can hook you up and lead the way and help you out with things. So we've decided to do a new thing where Scott each week will introduce us to a new race in Japan, or a race. So Scott, what do you got?
Okay, I got this one, which is it's the brochure. Just got this in the mail about
Looks pretty.
3 days ago. Yep, nice race. It's all Japanese too, so maybe I'm thinking with these races, if you like the sound of it and if you want to do it, just drop me a line. My website has my email. I mean, I can give it now, but I don't know. I'll put it on my it's on my Samurai website. Send me a thing and I can sign you up for it.
So you go to samurairunning.com, but you can also contact Scott on Twitter.
Oh.
All the links will be below, by the way, everyone out there.
Better still. Anyway, I don't know how it can help. I mean, I had a friend today at my work, and she said, who's it for, this running in Japan? I said, well, it's for... She thought it was just for people in Japan, because she said, I want you to tell me, like, where we can get certain kind of sports drinks and stuff in Japan. I said, well, it's not really for people in Japan. But she said, I thought it was. I said, well, that's a limited audience. There's probably guys who run here. Maybe, I don't know, there's a lot, but I mean, there's more people overseas that want to know when they come to Japan or something. And what I want to do too is I want to introduce people to these local marathons, not the Tokyo Marathon, Osaka. These are the best ones.
Yeah, those are the cool ones.
Just everyone, they're great, right?
Well, Tokyo Marathon, Kobe Marathon, Osaka Marathon, those big ones, they have English websites, right?
They can do themselves, yeah.
People can go there and find out. But there's so many amazing races around here where, to be honest, I rely on my wife, who's Japanese, to help me out with that because, I have the kanji reading ability of an inebriated 1.5-year-old.
Okay, this one is it's open. It opened 5 days ago, and it closes December 12th. So hurry up! You can get in this one. I mean, it's not
What's the name of the race, by the way?
Okay, do I really have to tell you that? It's the thing.
Maybe Scott, maybe Jonathan can tell us.
It's such a mouthful. All right, Kuchikumano Marathon.
Kuchikumano. The Kuchikumano Marathon.
Kuchikumano Marathon. All right, that's the kanji. There you go.
Nice.
Kuchi.
I can read marathon.
That's marathon in katakana. Kuchikumano Marathon. It's maybe Wakayama. Wakayama is a seaside prefecture, about an hour and 2 hours from Osaka proper. You can get there by train in about an hour and a half, I think. But this is a beautiful area. Maybe you guys have heard of Shirahama. You know Shirahama?
Oh yeah, famous beach.
Yeah, famous beach. Especially you ask any.
And don't they have all the sand shipped in from Australia?
Beautiful, yeah, that's why I like it. Nice, makes me feel at home.
Actually, at Shirahama Beach, you didn't know that, Jonathan, huh? They literally, not joking, they literally have brought in all the sand from Australia.
But it's not, I mean, it's not far from there. The whole area is beautiful. I mean, they have the race, it's mostly in the mountains. From Shirahama, it's about by car, it's about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But they run it into the mountains, and that area is just gorgeous. It's countryside, and people are friendly. There's a huge Sento onsen and fish market nearby, and there's a place where you can stay near that area. It's like they have what is it? It's like the bubbled dome things, and they hold about 2 or 3 people in them, and they're wonderful, really comfortable. Tatami mats on the floor, and they're brand new, and there's about 30 of them, and they're relatively cheap, and they have all you can eat buffets and stuff. It's a great area. It's a really nice area. The fish market is called Tori Ichiba. It's one of the most famous in Japan, but where they cut up these salmon that are about 3 meters long. Tuna that are about 3 meters long, and they feed it to the people. But it's wonderful race. So what do you got? You got onsens, you got all you can eat buffets, you've got country areas, friendly people. You'll be probably the only gaijin there, and it's February 3rd. February 3rd.
How much is it? I'm just curious, because that's one of the big differences between the big marathons and the small ones. The small ones are usually very cheap.
Good question.
Whereas the big ones could be 3 or 4 times as much.
Oh yeah, well I mean, if you for like Osaka Marathon or Kobe Marathon, Tokyo Marathon, you're gonna pay like Ichiman Nissan, and you're gonna pay like
Kyoto's the same.
That's like about $150, US.
This race has 2 kilometers for the Shogaku, 3 kilometers for Shogaku Ichinensei to Sannensei. That's elementary school, 1st grade to 3rd grade. The 3K race, and then another 3K race for the 4th grade to 6th grade. Half marathon for adults, full marathon, and it's just for the kids. It's like 1,000 yen. Yeah. For the high school kids, junior high school kids, it's 2,000. For the adult and for the high school kids, it's 4,000, and for the adults, it's 4,500.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like for the smaller marathons, like Osaki Odegawa, which I've run 3 times, it's like 5,000 yen.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And you get a great T-shirt. You get a technical T-shirt. You get a little certificate. You get like a bottle of water, banana, muffin, whatever.
I didn't get into Tokyo, right? I applied for it, and they said sorry, you didn't get in. Blah blah blah. Try again next year. But they said at the bottom, but if you're a special donor, if you donate Juman, we'll get you in.
Yeah.
Juman, that's 1,000 US.
Actually, no, that's about 1,250 US.
But I'm serious. I was furious. I was like, fuck, this is bullshit. I mean, okay, you want to donate, but how can they say, oh, you can't get in, right, on the lottery? But if you donate, we can fit you in.
Yeah. A lot of marathons are doing that these days.
That's too much. There's something, I don't know, fishy about that. I don't know for you guys, but okay, that's fine. They get money, but what does it turn into? I mean, the whole point of running is for normal people to build up their fitness. I mean, you want to donate to charity, don't make it all about marathons. Marathons are about making normal people getting together in a spirit of community.
Well, I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference between these smaller marathons and the bigger ones. I think the bigger ones kind of move past that now, and it's a financial model for a lot of them.
But I was something shocked. I can't get a good, coherent argument for why it's bad, but it just something makes me angry about it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I got into Tokyo Marathon the first year I applied. I got in. I ran it in 2010, and then the next 2 years. I applied. I got an email saying no, thank you. Try again next year. And then this year, I tried to apply twice to the English website, and and then I'd put in all the information, and when I clicked enter, it would just say, apply from your own country.
Yeah,
so that's something to do with like my IP address. That was saying they're like, no, apply from Canada. I was just. So I tried twice, and then the second time when that happened, and I filled it like the whole form, I was like, screw this, whatever, Tokyo. To be honest, I did it once. It was interesting to do, but Kobe, Osaka, just as good.
Yeah.
Just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your goals for the next week, the two of you?
Next week?
Yeah, this coming week.
Uh,
Well, this week, I suppose.
I'm back to my what do you call it? My 100-mile week again. I'm gonna hit. That's my goal
you're
again.
going to get to a 100-mile week? Okay.
At least. Maybe
I'm not.
try to go over.
I'm going to try to amp up a bit more than I did last week. I'm going to try to get, let's see. Oh, little one crying. Uh-oh. I'm going to try to get about 70. I'm going to try to get about 60, between 60 and 70 running. The main thing is I need to do, I want to do I have to do at least a 30K long this Sunday. I've done
Important this stage, John.
Yeah, I've done 4 long runs at this point. My longest has been like 24 and a half. I gotta hit the 30 mark at least 3 times.
Yeah, if you don't get this one and this weekend, you'll be thrown up and hurt and crawling into the finish line.
Yeah.
In Osaka.
And I've done that. I did that last year. But last year I was much better trained last year. I was running a lot more last year than I have been this year. But I sadly last year's Osaka Marathon I was sick. I had a fever. But I was like, screw this, fuck it. I got to do it. I paid this much money and I've trained this hard. I got to do it. And it was a disastrous run. Speaking of that Osaka Marathon, I just saw Scott, our friend, our mutual friend, our British friend, who we ran with last year. Richard? Brain's melting. You ran Osaka.
Steven.
Pardon? Sorry, yeah.
Steven.
He just hit 3. He ran a 3:33 marathon 2 weeks ago.
Really? He's
lost 20 kilograms since this time last year.
Bullshit, eh?
So,
wow.
This is a runner we met on Twitter, Jonathan, and we around this time last year he came in. He lives in England. His wife's Japanese, and we ran in Osaka Park together, the 3 of us. We met through Twitter. And he ran last year. What did he run last year? It was over 4. It was over 4 hours. It was like 4 hours and 10 minutes or something. And then in April, he ran 3:50. And then he's just been going so hardcore, and he's lost again 20. He's a big guy. He's a very tall man, well over 6 feet tall, and he's lost like 20 kilograms. And he ran a 3:33.
Wow.
Brighton marathon. So
it's good. What? Do you remember the name of the marathon?
I think Brighton Marathon maybe. Yeah. So that's very awesome. And then there's me who will still probably flounder as much as I have the last few. Nonetheless.
Well, that's all thanks to this right here, I believe.
Well, yeah, it's got something to do. No, it's not. I don't think so much. I wouldn't say that because a lot of runners I know drink a fair amount, and I think I've got only 2 things to blame. Number 1, laziness. Number 2, injuries. I can't because to be honest, I do drink beer, but I don't go out. I don't have late nights out. I'm normally in bed by like 11 o'clock at night. I have a couple of beers after work. This and kind of thing. It's just I'm very easily I'm like, oh well, it was a bad day at work. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm not going to run tonight. I'll just watch TV. Or I'm great at making excuses. So I'll at least admit my weaknesses. I'm lazy and I should be training more, and I really need to set some higher goals, some higher things to shoot for.
Yeah, what you should do is stop working.
Yeah. Are you in that state right now, Mr. Reynolds?
I am currently jobless, yes.
I would love to be in the state of unemployment if I had some kind of financial.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Use those paid holidays and just take off work.
Well, also, I got to admit, my work schedule does not help with that either. Working often 6 days a week, long hours, doesn't help me with that. But yeah, no. So next year's a new year, right? I'm actually going to try to squeak in. I got to get my wife to take a peek and see if I can eke in. I don't. It might be already full, but the Kakagawa Marathon on December 23rd.
Right.
Not far from where I am now. a little past Sakashi. It might already be full, but if I can get in there, that's a month after Osaka. I've got a bit of a base there. Osaka would be a great long run. And maybe Kakagawa Marathon, I could do something faster.
Yeah, it's very flat.
It's very flat. I ran the 10K there 4 years ago, and it's pancake flat. And I think a boring as shit marathon, but you could really focus and move fast, I think.
I wanted to. Oh, you sent me that link about the movie coming out next year. It's called
Transcend.
It looks good, right?
Yeah.
But they're saying about basically a lot of elite marathon runners that have are religious one way or another, whether it's Christian or Muslim. But I wonder, I mean, how many drink, right? I mean, everyone who drinks as a marathoner say, yeah, Steve Prefontaine used to get drunk and run his marathons and things like that. They always use somebody, but I don't know how many people actually.
Well, I don't know about elites, but I think like when you talk about like the average runner.
Average runner, they drink. I mean, I haven't met an average runner who didn't, right?
And I mean, when I listen to a lot of running podcasts, I mean, guys who are like fast runners, guys like Boston qualifiers, this and that, they're all talking about, yeah, after we did this run, we all went to the bar and drank some beer, and you know what I mean? It's just, I think, part of the social thing. Now, I mean, when I say drinking, I mean, that's not like going out and getting hammered, going out and getting hammered 2 or 3 nights a week. You're not going to be able to run if you do something like that.
Yeah.
But it tends to be, I don't know, a lot of the people I've met who've been runners, they enjoy a good beer. I'll just say that.
I have to say that I took a 40-day hiatus from drinking while I was preparing for my last run. Mm-hmm. For 40 days, I went with 0 alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'll be darned if my running did not suffer because of lack of beer.
Yeah, I took a month off too. First time about 2 months ago. First time I have ever. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it didn't help, but it didn't hurt. It's good to know that you can go without it. I think the first time since I was 16 that I haven't had a drink, I think, like continuous. I always drink something, even if it's a beer a day or something like that. But that was an eye-opener. It was hard for the first 2 weeks, but after that, it was all right.
Do you know what I think? I think where the only time, like, I've had issues in the past, not issues really, but I've always found it really hard to do the pre-dawn running thing, and I did that last year for both like my Osaka, like the kind of Osaka Kobe marathon training cycle. I was doing pre-dawn running, so I was waking up at 4:30 every morning, and that was just wasn't fun. And it really, and if you had a couple of beers, it really, even like literally a couple of cans of beer, it made it hard to get up in the morning at 4:30. And I found you had to be so disciplined to make sure you were in bed at like 9:30 at night or 10 o'clock at the latest. For me, personally, 10 o'clock at night. If I went to bed after 10 o'clock, I wasn't getting up to run. So this time around, it's a bit easier. My son's older now. Like he's 2 years and change, 2 years, 3 months. So now he goes to bed, and then I go running after that. Or now I'm doing like I'll run at break time at work, and it just seems easier this year that way. But I just found that I don't know. I don't even think it had anything to do with beer. I think it was just honestly having to get up at 4:30 in the morning. It was just hard.
Well, when I first started running last year, I started running. It was all morning runs, early morning before work, 6 a.m.-ish. Thankfully, my work started a little later than yours did. But
I'm on the train at like 7:20, so.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm in the shower at like 9. Anyway. But yeah, something like that. So yeah, but then eventually during the winter I had to give up on that, and I started running at night after work. But for the past week, since as of last week I'm now free, I get up in the morning about 8 o'clock. I eat my breakfast. I practice music for an hour and a half, couple hours, and then I go running about 11 o'clock. Come back, eat lunch, shower then eat lunch. And it's great. Those mid-morning runs, wonderful. Before lunch.
I would do that too if I were, how shall I say?
Unemployed.
Unemployed. Yeah, no, I like that about vacation time. You know, have breakfast with the family. Then I'm like, see ya, going for a run. Yeah.
Must be nice this time of year in Kyoto to run, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, it's great. I haven't turned on the air conditioner for quite some time now, which I'm usually fairly anal about being an American. But no, it's been wonderful recently.
No, we haven't used the air conditioner even here in Kobe in quite some time, several weeks. Has the Momiji begun?
I haven't seen it. I saw some. What was it?
For
I think
those out there, by the way, that means the maple trees, the maple leaves turning color, which I've seen in some of Nick Ramsey's videos up in Gifu, and some of Nick's videos.
they're colder up there, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's
No,
up
I
in the
don't think it
hills.
started turning here. It should start sometime in November, I believe.
Okay, and by the way, to all of you out there, all six of you right now who I see are watching, I apologize that I'm not replying to comments because I can't see them because on my YouTube channels I'm not showing up. I can't read comments. Can you guys see, Jonathan? Do you see? Did this second part pop up in your YouTube stream?
Wait a
And
minute.
none of my channels it hasn't.
Let's see.
I see our first foray, our first 15 minutes has already popped up. I've privated it so I can save that later. This
No, I
one,
got nothing.
this is nothing. So when I end broadcast, I'm just hoping that it will be recorded and saved. It may go into this. There's a distinct possibility this could disappear into the ether, which would be a great excuse to have you on again some other time.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
But again, right now this isn't showing up on any of my. I'm looking at my 3 YouTube channels. It's not showing up on any feed. Again, right. Yeah. Oh well, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens when I end broadcast.
No product.
This week, no, I don't really have a product to share with you. Kind of a little unprepared for that, but we're kind of hitting the end anyway. It's like pretty much 11 o'clock, so I think that's okay. We get to talk about some interesting things regardless. It's been payday. It's payday today for me, so there might be some new products coming into my household in the next month, which is good. I really need to buy. I should just order new shoes today. I get my shoes I've ordered them on from Rakuten.
What did you order?
I'm an overpronator. I basically wear what does one runner describe? I wear small sofas on my feet. I wear I wear the Mizuno Wave Inspires, which are kind of like the same. They're the equivalent of like the Asics Gel Cayenos or the Brooks.
Beast.
No, not the Beast, not that hardcore. The Brooks.
Ghost.
Shit, I should know this. I've worn.
Ghost.
Not the Ghost. Those are too. My feet are too flat to wear those.
I'm scared.
The Brooks shit. Not the Brooks shit. Sorry, the Brooks.
Heard of those.
Not the Brooks shit. The Brooks Trance.
Trance.
The Brooks Trance. I wore the Brooks Trance 9s were the greatest shoes I ever wore in my life. They're the most amazing running shoes. Brooks Trance 9s, and then when the Trance 10s came out, they did something to them. What do you got there?
Ghost 4s.
Ghost 4s.
Ghost 4s. Last year's Ghosts.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. I love them.
I sadly I've got really flat feet, so I overpronate when my feet land. They kind of roll in. So shoes like that will cause me a lot of issues with my knees and stuff. So I have to wear more of a support shoe.
What does a trail shoe look like? I've never really seen one.
Trail shoes are they've got chunkier. They've got grips on it, like chunkier grips on the bottom.
That's it.
More the treads. For trail shoes, Brooks they all the major brands make good trail shoes, but I think it's I know Dean Karnazes was a big spokesman. He has his own line of North End or North Face. North End. What are those?
What are you thinking there?
Yeah. But so I started off by kind of wearing Asics, as they say in Japan, or Asics back home. And I wore those for several years until they tweaked them with one line, and it just I hated them. And then I moved over to Brooks Trance, and then the Trance 9s were great. Went through 3 pairs of those. And then when the Trance 10s came out, sometimes they change them a little bit. And it literally went from the greatest shoes I could ever wear. I ran them when I ran my 60K run, not a blister, not a hot spot, nothing. It was amazing. And then I bought a pair of, when they changed it to the 10s, the next line, the first run I went out, after 5 kilometers, I had a massive blister on my toe.
I set a record last week for putting a hole in a sock. 3K.
Really?
3K. Brand new socks. I just came from the shop and I just put them on and I went around this loop. 3K later, I felt like uncomfortable. I took my shoe off and there was a big down hole in the toe thing. Shit things there. And these were good. I mean, they cost me like close to $40. I'm gonna go, but I have to go back. You know, I got no time. This is
I would go back. $40 for a pair of socks, and they
almost. I mean, $40 US. Say about they were okay. 28 bucks or something. All right, I exaggerate.
Whatever.
When I get angry, I always exaggerate.
Mm. Well, those Nike Elite running socks, I made a video about a while back ago. Those are great.
Are they?
Those are great. Those things will take a beating. That video I actually put up on my channel. Run Cause It's Fun, that's got like 5,000 hits, and on that channel, like my videos usually get like 50, 60 hits.
Kevin, have you ever been to the Asics factory in Kobe?
No, I've been to the sports museum here. It's by my house.
Oh, is it? Is that the one where they have the track where you can run around and get tested and shit?
I think it's like in the headquarters. Like the headquarters is by my it's attached to the headquarters. The headquarters is a 10-minute walk from my apartment.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's go there. I want to go.
Port Island in Kobe.
Have a look.
Yeah.
Do you have to make an appointment? You think?
Oh, no, for the museum, no. The museum's open for it's like really odd. It's like Tuesday to Saturday.
If I can call them and get them to, because I want to do that track and get my shoes fitted and stuff like that.
That's not at the museum. I don't know about that one.
But you do. You can apparently you can get there. I've seen guys do it, and you run around the track and they'll test everything. They put.
Apparently at the headquarters, I've heard they do that. Like they bring the athletes here to Port Island, in Kobe, and they have like a retractable. They even have like a basketball court with a retractable roof and stuff.
Right.
And they have it all the gear here.
So I love Asics. I've been wearing Asics ever since I started. I've never had a problem with them.
Mm.
Except I put my foot through the top of them often.
Oh, really?
My toes. When you break shoes,
I wear Mizuno now. I like Mizuno.
If you break shoes, where do they break? Mine are always, I put my toe.
I don't break shoes.
I don't break shoes either.
I've never broke a shoe. I don't know. I also don't
this
run.
This is why he runs 2-3 times.
I also don't run 160 kilometers a week.
Oh, really? I go through them so easy. But I'm always putting my toes through the top of the mesh.
How long does the shoe last you?
3 to 4 months.
Actually, I have broken a pair of shoes. I lie. The Asics Gel New York.
What happened?
Put my toes through the sides of them.
I'm doing that all the time.
But the Cayenos are much sturdier shoe.
Mm.
But they're also, it's like running with sofas on your feet, apparently, according to some people I've talked to. Yeah. So guys, I'm looking at it's 11 o'clock. Maybe we can wrap it up. I hope at least the live version of this show we can wrap up. I really hope this saves. Please save, so I can pull it down later on this evening, and then over the next couple of days edit it together. Because again, this part 2 is not showing up anywhere in any feed of mine. So we'll see. And I apologize to all of you out there who are watching us live that I haven't been able to comment on any of your comments if you've been leaving comments because they're not showing up anywhere. And that's got nothing to do with me. That's a good old Google glitch. All right. Hopefully it'll be better next week. But this is episode 5 of Running in Japan. And any final words, guys?
I think I've got to compliment Jonathan on his pajamas.
Thank you. I like my pajamas.
You're wearing jammies, aren't you?
It is 11 o'clock at night.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
next week I'm gonna wear them. My smoking
should.
jacket. My smoking.
You're wearing an ascot and a smoking jacket with a bubble pipe, like Bart Simpson. Um, nice, cool. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for coming on to Run 'Cause It's Fun, our Running in Japan show. Again, if it does save, it will be up in the next couple of days on the Run 'Cause It's Fun channel. And thank you, all of you folks out there, for watching. Please leave comments below, questions for next week's episode. Leave them below in the comment section, please. And that's it. So see you guys later. From Kevin.
Jonathan.
God, bye.
All right, see you, everyone.